The Vatican buzzed with an unprecedented energy, a maelstrom of fervent opinions swirling across social media. Pope Leo XIV pronouncements had ignited a firestorm, dividing the Catholic world and beyond. Was this a scandal, a catastrophic misstep, or the salvation the Church desperately needed? The answers, it seemed, were as varied as the faithful themselves. Veteran Vatican observers, seasoned in the art of deciphering papal pronouncements, were stunned. Cardinals huddled in hushed corners. Progressive Catholics raged online, while traditionalists erupted in triumphant cries of "finally." The situation was unlike anything witnessed in recent memory. The surprising element wasn't the Pope's radicalism. It was his unwavering adherence to long-held, fundamental Catholic doctrines. The very fact that these core beliefs were now headline news spoke volumes about the Church's recent trajectory. The Pope's pronouncements began with the family. He defined it simply, yet powerfully, a stable union between a man and a woman, employing the Church's time-honored language. No ambiguous terms like parent one and parent two, no vague platitudes to appease modern sensibilities. This clear, unambiguous statement alone triggered a firestorm of reactions. But it was only the beginning. Next, Pope Leo XIV addressed human dignity, a seemingly standard topic for papal pronouncements. However, his approach was anything but standard. He didn't focus on politically convenient causes. He tackled the hard issues, the ones that made people uncomfortable. He spoke of protecting the lives of the unborn, advocating for the elderly abandoned in nursing homes, and defending the truly excluded, the forgotten, the sick, the vulnerable. This unwavering commitment to the sanctity of all human life, regardless of social standing or perceived worth, resonated deeply with some, but provoked fierce opposition from others. The Pope's address to Vatican diplomats proved to be the most explosive moment. In a bold declaration that shook the foundations of the Church's political landscape, he stated, "The truth is not an abstract concept, but a person, Jesus Christ." For those outside the Catholic Church, this might seem like a simple assertion of faith. Within the Church, however, it was seismic. For years, there had been a growing trend towards theological compromise, a watering down of core beliefs to appeal to a broader, more secular audience. Pope Leo XIV's statement was a resounding rejection of this approach, a firm declaration that the truth of the Christian faith could not be diluted or compromised to suit contemporary sensibilities. The reaction from a lifelong Catholic, the Pope's 89-year-old grandmother, perfectly encapsulated the situation. She simply stated, "Honey, that's just what we've always believed. Why is everyone so surprised?" Her words highlighted the jarring disconnect between the Church's historical teachings and its recent public pronouncements. Consistency, it seemed, had become rebellion, clear speech, controversy, a pope sounding like a pope, shocking. His address to Christian educators further ignited the flames. While initially praising the vibrancy and energy of youth, he swiftly shifted to a frank assessment of contemporary issues plaguing young people. Superficial relationships, rampant individualism, emotional instability, and, most significantly, relativism, the belief that there is no absolute truth, only subjective opinions. Although he didn't explicitly mention Pope Benedict XVI, the clear allusion to Benedict's warnings about the dictatorship of relativism was not lost on anyone. The implication was clear: when truth is abandoned, the loudest voices prevail, often to the detriment of genuine understanding and meaningful dialogue. But Pope Leo XIV's impact extended beyond his words. It was evident in his actions. His first major appointment was Father Miguel Angel Contreras, a young Peruvian bishop renowned for his deep faith and commitment to spiritual formation, not for his media presence or political connections. This choice signaled a clear shift in priorities, emphasizing pastoral care and spiritual leadership over public relations and political maneuvering. His subsequent move to the traditional papal apartments in the Apostolic Palace, while criticized by some as a display of pride, was widely interpreted as a powerful symbolic gesture. The Pope, as the successor to St. Peter, was presenting himself as a visible, unwavering rock for the Church, not a committee moderator navigating complex political landscapes. The underlying shift was undeniable. Even those outside the Catholic faith could sense the end of an era. For decades, Many religious institutions had adopted a strategy of diluting their core beliefs to appear more relevant and palatable to modern society. Pope Leo XIV was rejecting this approach, believing that people, at their core, crave truth, even when it is challenging, especially when it is challenging. The most intense backlash, tellingly, came not from outside critics, but from within the Church itself, from those comfortable with compromise and the pursuit of political relevance. The Pope's actions were not unprecedented. History offered parallels. Pope Leo XIII's engagement with social issues, Pius X's fight against modernism, Benedict XV's efforts to bring theological clarity. Each of these popes faced a church struggling to maintain its mission amidst intense cultural pressures. Pope Leo XIV, in his own way, was continuing this tradition, restoring a living faith, not preserving museum pieces, but revitalizing the core beliefs that had once inspired saints and transformed the world. Looking ahead, if Pope Leo XIV remains steadfast in his course, and all signs suggest he will, the Church may undergo a profound transformation. It could become less obsessed with media approval and more focused on nurturing faith and forming saints. It might cease bending to the whims of culture and instead offer what culture increasingly lacks: a clear, unwavering sense of purpose and truth. Paradoxically, this unwavering commitment to core beliefs might prove more effective than the previous strategy of compromise. Young people, in particular, often gravitate towards leaders who stand firm in their convictions, even when facing opposition. The clarity and unapologetic nature of Pope Leo XIV's pronouncements, a stark contrast to the often vague and inoffensive pronouncements of previous religious leaders, have generated a palpable sense of excitement and anticipation. The Pope's actions raise fundamental questions about the role of religious institutions in a rapidly changing world. Should religious institutions adapt their core teachings to fit modern sensibilities, or should they hold fast to their beliefs, even when unpopular? This is not merely a question for the Catholic Church. It's a challenge facing all religious institutions grappling with the tension between tradition and modernity. Pope Leo XIV's bold stance serves as a catalyst for a much broader conversation about identity, authenticity, and the enduring power of unwavering belief in a world increasingly characterized by compromise and relativism. His actions may represent a step backward for some, a bold step forward for others, but they undeniably mark a pivotal moment in the history of the Catholic Church and the broader religious landscape. The future remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Pope Leo XIV's unwavering commitment to traditional Catholic doctrine has